Hey everybody, Emily here. Thanks so much for being here on this, my YouTube channel. Today we have a very special guest. It's Chef Frank Proto.
Hi.
So Frank, the last time we were hanging out, we were talking about beers, and it seemed like we liked a lot of the same beers.
Yes.
And so when I was home in Nova Scotia, I was thinking, wow, these are some pretty great beers. So I thought I would bring a little tour of the Maritimes in beer form back for you.
And I am so excited to be here doing this because last time we had snacks.
That's right.
So every time Emily goes to Nova Scotia,
I'm just bringing.
I win.
And then to keep it interesting for our friends who either don't drink beer or can't go to the Maritimes to pick up these beers right now, I also have some interviewee type questions for you.
Cool.
We'll have a little fun.
It'll be fun.
Yay! All right. Let's start with number one. All right, so our very first beer is, I would say, iconic. Iconic. This is like the Coors Light of the Maritimes, is what I would say.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So is this what you drank in high school when you were being a bad girl?
Absolutely, and it's what I still drink in my parents' basement with my friends, like to this day. It's your Budweiser, except just for the East Coast. It's made in Halifax.
So it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, definitely a nostalgia beer. And the first thing that you need to know is that it says India Pale Ale, but it is absolutely not one.
No.
It is very much a Pilsner.
Okay.
It's like, or Pilsner lager, like.
Okay. So it's not gonna have that like hoppy kick.
It has.
There's a little bit of sprinkle of
I say
hops.
this with all the love in the world because I truly love Alexander Keith's beer. Very light on flavor.
Okay.
All right, so Frank, meet Alexander Keith. Alexander Keith's has been brewed in Halifax since I can't even say it on the side. 1820.
Ooh.
There is a themed brewery tour, which I've been on countless times when friends.
Do you get to wear an antler?
No, but they're actually
hats?
dressed up like they're in the 1800s, and they sing
my
sea
gosh.
shanties to you.
That is
It
awesome.
is delightful.
Sea
This is my little
shanties
accidental tourism ad, but it is
I love it.
delightful.
So we ready?
Yeah.
Time to taste. Yeah, definitely not an IPA.
Yeah, no.
Definitely not. And yeah, it's very Coors Light like. It's crushable, right?
Yeah.
Like you can really drink a bunch of these.
You can forget that you're drinking this. You can be like, just have a nice time.
I like it a lot. I think that I see where you get the like nostalgia from.
So, question number one for you.
Give it to me.
What is your favorite of the sort of like mass-produced this kind of beer? What's your brand?
Mine is probably I would say a Miller Lite or a Miller High Life.
All right, the champagne of beers.
The champagne of beers, yeah. That would be my kind of version of this. You would think the differentiation in taste, there's not a lot of different tastes. But
Yeah.
for some reason we gravitate towards that.
Yeah, I think the one you get used to is just the one that you.
I agree.
You crave.
And that you can get used to.
You can get used to it. All right.
Are we finishing them all? Yes.
All right. So our next beer we have the 9 Locks Dirty Blonde. This is made in Dartmouth, which is part of the Halifax Regional Municipality.
Mm-hmm.
So it's across the water from Halifax, but it's really part of Halifax. This one happens to have been dropped a number of times, so I'm not sure what's about to happen.
No, it's gonna be good.
This is
Ooh.
it's got a little more
It has actually like I see a little bit of hops on there.
yeah.
IBUs like I know a little about beer. IBU usually is the International Bitters Units, and IBU's 12 is low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers. Interestingly, next to Keith's, not that different.
It's super light. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super light. I smell hops more than I taste them. This, I think, again, is one of those beers you drink after mowing the lawn, or you know, it's really smooth and kind of light, and
Yeah, it has a little more bitterness and a little more like sort of floral, I feel like, versus the Keith's. Like there's just a little more going on, but not by a lot, because Keith's is already great. Okay, so question number 2 for you. I was lurking on your social media trying to figure out just like things to ask, and I realized I don't know anything about what kind of music you like, and I couldn't really find anything to tell me. So what kind of music do you like?
It's a great question because I had this conversation with my good friend last night, and I really love music, but I'm not a huge fan of music. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like you're not a concert goer.
I've been to plenty of concerts. I don't seek it out. I usually let the choice of music up to other people because
Yeah.
it's like discovery to me. I enjoy music, but I don't seek it out. You know,
Yeah.
like I have, I guess, a running soundtrack in my head that I'm always like, thinking about. Like, and lately it's been Cher.
I was gonna say, what's right now?
Cher, like,
Who
what
doesn't love Cher? She's the best.
I don't know why, but sometimes I just wake up in the morning and the Cher is up there. So it's like it's super eclectic. I think that's what it was actually.
It's that one lives in my head forever.
Yeah. So favorite music? No.
I said that really quiet, as if that would somehow prevent the copyright from being an issue. But like, we'll see. If she comes after me, I'll take the video down. What can you do?
But I love
please.
Rush. If we're gonna stick with the Canadian theme, Rush is one of my favorite
Canadian bands.
Bands.
A lot of good Canadian bands.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next. All right, so number 3, we've got Together We Brew, which is a Callista lagered ale. We love church brewing. We'll see. I kind of just grabbed. I feel like I thought in the moment that I tasted all of these ahead, but some of them we might be kind of like rolling together. I know I like this brewery.
No, I mean I think that's kind of the thing is like we're sharing a beer, we're friends, and
Yeah,
that's
just
the fun of it.
hanging out,
I love it. I love it. And if it's not good, it's not good.
Yeah. The point of this is not like just like a promotional
It's a
video or
tour
anything. Like
of
I'm not getting paid for
Halifax.
this. We're just like checking stuff out.
All right, so
again, we got like a lager, but this one's a little bit more on the like.
ooh,
Yeah.
So
it's
you
a
look
little
at it,
more
it's like a little like
cloudy.
cloudy.
Oh, this one's a little hoppy too. I think
It smells really hot.
it smells really hoppy.
No, but actually, look. Once that foam kind of dies down, it goes less. I feel,
Yeah, it's hop forward, but
Yeah.
not necessarily like like glass full hop.
Oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not too bitter.
Yeah, a little like juicy.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe it.
Yeah, but on the lighter end, like it's not like
Yeah.
how you have some of those really
Yeah,
hoppy
yeah.
ones. And you're like,
Yeah, it's not like when you drink a pine tree kind
No,
of hops.
no,
It's
it's-
just like
yeah.
hops.
It's almost like a lemonade in a way, And I
yeah.
like that,
Yeah. Question number 3 for
Okay.
you. So I saw on the internet that you mentioned growing up you made homemade salami and homemade wine from
Yeah.
grapes. Can you tell me about that? What was
Yeah,
that
we
like?
did. So I grew up on Long Island in New York, and my grandmother and grandfather are both Italian. And we grew up with these old Italian traditions of making. It wasn't salami; it was dry sausage, which is just like salami's just a little different.
Sure.
We made dried sausage and we made homemade wine, and it was part of our summer. The wine was in late September, like mid to late September, and it was usually just like a big 50-gallon barrel of red wine.
Yeah.
And that died off after a while, and then my father and my uncle took it over. That is something that I remember as a kid, and I hope to start it again.
I was going to say, do you still do that?
Haven't done it in years, but it's been in the talks to try and start resurrecting that. Curing sausage is a little dangerous at times.
Yeah, I was.
Because it has to be the right temperature. You
A lot
have
of
to have the
follow-up
right
questions.
salt content.
Yeah.
So you knew when it was good. The old timers could like feel it and stuff like that. So I am a big proponent of trying to bring back the old school stuff. Like I love to make pasta by hand. I want to start making wine and sausage again. But it is something that you can't compare. It's so good.
All right, next beer.
Good questions.
So we're moving on to the Tall Ship, which is an ale, East Coast ale is what they call it. This is definitely one of the more mass-produced ones. Garrison's a bigger company, but still pretty local.
Again, pretty low. It's only 5%.
So again, a pretty light-looking beer, really.
Yeah, look at it. I mean, it's super golden.
Yeah.
Again, doesn't smell like
much.
It's really
This is a little sweeter, I feel
yeah.
like.
It definitely has a little sweetness to it.
Yeah.
And that sweetness always gives a little more body and mouthfeel. And I get that because it's drinkable, and it's not something you're going to particularly get loaded on. It's something you're going to sit. We're going to chat. We're going to have some snacks, and it's going to be fun.
Briskies, if you will. All right, question for you. I know that you guys do soap making, woodworking.
Yeah.
What's next on the craft list for you?
Yeah, so we want to have a little pub at the back section of our garage. So that's one of our next big projects.
I'll carve my name into a seat.
No. So we're gonna have like regulars, and you and Dan will be regulars, and you'll
That'd be
have
really
like
nice.
your own mugs.
Ooh.
And then, you know, when you're done, you wash them back out, you put it on the shelf.
You can't see Dan's face, viewer, but he's delighted.
So we set ourselves to the challenge to not spend too much money doing it, but to build a garage bar.
I will be there with bells on.
You're always invited.
All right, shall we move on to the next beer?
Let's go.
All right, I'm going to check this out.
Let's try it.
This is, okay, it's made by Molson, so it's a big, we're talking like mass-produced beer.
Yeah.
Beers that exist across the nation is what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
So this is a red beer in like the Irish red sense.
Which is getting into I love Irish Reds.
I
married an Irish Red.
Aww. This is, it's one of my favorite beers, and I feel like it's one of the hardest kinds of beer to find in the States. I don't see it that much, and it's very common among Canadian
Okay, cool. I love
brewing.
that.
So, sort of in the Smithwick's Red family, but its own kind of thing.
Now you're talking. Smithwick's is... Look how beautiful that is.
That's the color we're looking for.
That's what we're looking for. Smells great. Yeah. It's, you know, compared to the other beers, more body, more flavor. It's still on the light side and nice and like crystal clear, but yeah, that's delicious.
Yeah.
I can see where it'd be a favorite.
I miss this beer when it's not around, you know?
It's a crave. It's like, okay, I really want, what is it, Rickards?
Yeah. Rickards Red.
I would like keep this in my fridge all the time.
So your gin and tonics, you do sort of like a Spanish style. You worked at Barcelona.
Yeah.
You seem to have a connection with Spanish food. Did that start with working at Barcelona?
Yeah.
Or was that a...
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So Barcelona is a restaurant I live in Connecticut, and I'm not afraid to share. I worked for this company called Barcelona Wine Bar for about 6 years, and that's pretty much where my love of Spanish food came. One of the first things they do is take you on a trip to Spain, and it was 7 days of eating and drinking, and
delightful.
It was
the dream.
It was amazing. It was probably one of the best trips of my life until I went to Spain with the wife and kids. That was
leveling up.
That's because we did like a tour of Spain just like that, but I did with my family, so it was a lot better. But my love of Spain, I cannot wait to go back. It is just like the culture is, they're chill. They're excuse me, I got burp. What's that show where they get drunk?
Oh,
Drunk History.
Drunk History, yeah, very good.
That's right. I'm burping through the...
I really like the one where Seth Meyers gets drunk with different people. Delightful YouTube show if you're on there.
Watch that.
It's great. It's great.
He
gets drunk with his mom and with his brother at different and with Rihanna. And Ina Garten is actually a delightful one.
We gotta watch that.
And we got another red. So this is Butcher Block Red. It's 6.0%.
Oh, so now we're getting up a little. Okay.
We're ratcheting it up just slightly.
I like the color already. We're looking good.
I'm sorry I poured that just like a monster. I'll take that one if you want.
No, it's okay. Jazz hands.
Well, jazz hand for that one.
Jazz hands with the beer.
I'm curious. There's also like I bet it's for pairing. Maybe there's like a chili pepper.
Oh, I love it.
A pizza and a steak.
That is so helpful. That is
so cool. How fun is
that? Ooh, it smells great.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my goodness.
Cheers.
Ooh, that is nice. You get more of the roasty flavors.
Yeah, a little richer.
We're getting roasty.
A little
like
yeah.
Ooh,
I like that. It's like something between a Rickards Red and a Brown with like a little bit of hops, just like a little tiny bit of bitter.
And you get that bitterness. Like I know when they brew beer, the bitterness is there to cut the sweetness of the malt, and that's exactly what this does. It's like
because it's sweet and it's got the bitter.
As my wife would say, this is up my alley.
I'm delighted. Yeah, TATAMAGOUCHE, you did it.
Good pat on the shoulder.
Yeah, give a little pat on the gush. All right, so in 2017, when you started at ICE, they did a Meet the Chef interview with you. So, do a little background.
This is a deep dive.
Yeah. So you said, be an information seeker, learn your craft. I read every day still after 20 some odd years. There's always something that interests me. What are you reading or learning about now?
You know what's really funny is over the past 6 to 8 months, I haven't read anything. And I wouldn't say I'm a voracious reader, but I do enjoy reading books. I like books. Like, I'm not a Kindle guy, but I haven't read anything in a while. The last book I read was Dune, which was maybe about 5 or 6 months ago. I'd seen the movies, I'd seen all the movies, but I wanted to read the book and get the source material, and it was awesome. And I still have The Children of Dune, and I have Dune Messiah to read, but those will be my next books. But I read on the internet every day. Like I'm always searching for materials to build into my videos. Yeah. I'm always reading stuff about like building stuff, but I do tend to read sci-fi and informational stuff about things I'm interested in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. On to the next beer.
Is that good? This one is delicious.
So next beer we have Sons of Hector Brown Ale. This is another beer that I love.
Okay.
This is by a company called BRETON Brewing in Cape Breton. This is, Dan and I are
beautiful.
both big brown ale people, and this is a good one, I think.
I know I liked you for a reason. You know what? This smells almost like whiskey, like to me.
Yeah, a little bit. It's got like a little bit of that like.
Yeah, that is good.
Malty.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little bready, a little sweet, but not like
caramel.
Caramel. That's
like deep. Oh, that's.
But like still thin, not like one of those thick beers where you're like.
You can have a couple of these.
Yeah.
You know, you might not want to drink it all night, but that's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, having stolen this format a little bit from Hot Ones, I do have an Explain That Graham question for you. So I'm going to show it here because you've already seen it. I sent it to you by text just so you can see it. What I see is a piece of pizza with what appears to be a long piece of Taylor ham on it. What's going on there?
It's a slice of pizza with some salami on top. And I wish I could say it was my creation, but it is my son's culinary genius.
Yeah.
So he's heating up a slice of pizza with a piece of, like a really nice long piece of
just
salami.
Just a long... I've never seen salami.
Well, you know what happens when you slice on a
slicer? Pizza before that. Yeah.
When you slice on a slicer, usually you try and get the rounds. But as you slice, sometimes it creates an angle.
Okay.
And so like you get these beautiful long slices, and it just happened to be maybe at the end of this salami, and I thought that was particularly
brilliant,
genius, brilliant. Whatever.
Is that? Do you guys have a slicer in house, or was he working somewhere?
I am gonna get a slicer eventually.
That's the dream.
But no, we just bought that salami, and when I saw that, because
just a pleasant coincidence then.
Yeah, my son and daughter once in a while come out with these like amazing things, and you're like, oh, I should really post about this. You know?
This is good.
This is good, you know. And it's like I'd like to think that the culinary genius runs in the family.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But that was to me a particularly like brilliant thing to do.
Just
imagine
pizza.
A whole pepperoni slice with the pepperoni all the way on top.
It's just all
and not just little bits of pepperoni. Like,
it's genius. It's like it would be delightful to have that more often.
That's why I posted.
All right,
because I think he deserved the
accolades.
Shout out.
Yeah. What? Yes. So the next beer that we have is a maritime oatmeal stout.
Ooh.
You're a stout guy, right?
I'm a stout guy. Stout.
No, I'm
Oatmeal gives stouts like body, I think.
Yeah, it's like I decided to put this not at the end because I think the smoked porters are more punchy,
strong,
and they're a little higher ABV.
Yeah. That color is like beautiful.
Yeah, isn't that great? I would say it has kind of like a Guinnessy, like chocolatey.
Yeah. Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, I think
again, nice mouthfeel. Right?
Yeah,
really nice.
Less of the creaminess of like a Guinness on the top.
Yeah,
more of like more chocolatey,
sharper,
more
maybe?
Yeah, like a little sharper, but like a little. You know, to me, it's like a little punchier. You know.
Yeah, it's not. Depth. Is that the word we're looking for? Depth. It's got a little more depth. Yeah, delicious though.
Yeah, it is well established that you like Star Wars.
Yeah.
You might not know this, but Chef Frank's bathroom has 6 different pieces of Star Wars art. I counted. You also like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Is sort of fantasy and sci-fi something that you've always loved, or is it something you came to later in life?
That's a great question. It is. Star Wars has always been part of my life because I'm a child of the late 70s and early 80s. So Star Wars has always been there. And I guess sci-fi has always been a part of my life, you know. Having kids that appreciate it too is another thing. My daughter and my son love it too. So I think that's fueled it more for me. I do, but I've always read Lord of the Rings since I'm a kid. Like I've always loved fantasy and sci-fi.
For me, it was The Hobbit was the first thing I remember reading that I was like, oh
yeah.
shit. And I love fantasy. I have a thing where I watch all 3 Lord of the Rings extended edition movies in a row in a day.
And so you don't get off the couch.
You're there all day.
How many hours is that?
Like 12 to 13. All right, so the next one we have is the Patricious Irish Stout. Now, I chose this to go after the oatmeal stout because, if I recall correctly, it has more of like a smoky flavor. It's got like a little bit more ba-bam.
Yeah.
So I thought,
let's go with that.
Yeah, and then the last one we'll do is a smoked pork. So
nice.
Patricia's is from Shelburne, Nova Scotia. You know, in my head, I thought I really got, like, covered the Maritimes, but I really just covered Nova Scotia. But that's
okay.
fun.
That just leads us to another video of the Maritimes.
Yeah. Next we do PEI, then New Brunswick, then maybe we go to Newfoundland. It'll be a blast.
See, now when you look at that, right? Doesn't that look more like a Guinness? The way the head settles.
You get the like.
Yeah, you get that like nitrogen look to it. That's a nice looking beer.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's taste this thing.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, coffee.
Malt.
Rich maltiness. That is
less chocolatey, more coffee.
Definitely.
A little more bitter.
Yeah, not as sweet. Definitely has that bitter background, but this is, to me, is a good food beer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You have that with like a piece of beef or something?
Yeah. It's like a Cabernet of beer.
Yeah, the Cabernet of beer.
If you want to have
it's like
that
a
fattiness.
Got body to it, yeah.
So good.
And question for you.
Okay.
Consider yourself more of a morning person or a night owl?
I am definitely a night owl.
Yeah.
100%.
Me too.
Always have been. I like sleeping in.
Final beer.
Yes.
We got the Uncle Leo's Smoked Porter. Uncle Leo's is out of a place called Lionsbrook, Nova Scotia, which is in the Pictou area, for those in the know. And for everyone else, it's in Nova Scotia. I think it's the kind of thing that'll be up your alley.
I think it'll be up my alley.
It's also 6.8%.
So even more up my alley. Cheers. Let's take a whiff. Ooh. I expected more smokiness from the whiff.
Yeah.
I don't get it as
smell
much.
Pretty similar to like
a porter stout. It's a very light smoke.
You know what? I feel like having it right after the Patricia's.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have swapped it because that was a stout. This is a porter. This is a little lighter.
This is the smoke is super light, but it's tasty.
Trying to like squash it around my mouth a little.
It's so good.
It's sweet. It's malty.
Not super smoky.
Yeah.
I think the smoky hints are very.
It's interesting.
Because I've had smoked beers.
On the end. Yeah. It's not as potently smoky as I thought it would be.
And when you think of like a German smoked beer, it's like it tastes like a campfire.
Yeah.
This is not that.
Yeah.
But
it does still
delicious.
have like that kind of like fun malty but yeah.
I dig it.
So Coco Chanel used to say, you put on an outfit, when you walk out of the house, take one thing off.
Yes.
And I know that you have said that your mentor, Joey Fortunato, would say, does this really need to be on the plate?
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that restraint is something that you think about a lot in cooking? Is it like in terms of like taking something off?
That's a great question.
And how has that relationship changed over time?
It hasn't changed much. I still believe that. I still believe you see young cooks make dishes and there's 16 different things on the dish. I don't think that that's particularly a bad thing, but for me, it's just not the way I do things anymore. A lot of times, less is more, right? And if you're a good cook, you have good, solid technique, you don't need to add all the extra flourishes. I think Coco Chanel had it absolutely right.
All right.
Yeah.
Love that.
I love this format.
What do you think? Did I cover a lot of the kinds of beers that you like, broadly speaking?
Ticked all the boxes.
I
think you ticked all the boxes. We went from light to heavy. We had... I don't think there was one bad beer in the batch.
Yeah. Anything in particular stand out as a favorite?
The TATAMAGOUCHE Red and the Sons of Hector, two of the best beers out of the lot. I can drink those all day long. And,
me too.
Honestly,
me too.
Makes me want to visit Nova Scotia.
You gotta come up, hang out. I'll show you around. So you made it through the, let's say, gauntlet of beers.
Yeah.
What's going on in your life? You got Proto Cooks? This camera.
Oh,
tell the people what you got going on.
I'm just doing my thing on Proto Cooks, shooting with Epicurious once in a while, and just having a great time with it.
Well, thanks.
Cheers.
Check out Frank on Proto Cooks. His link's down below. And thanks so much for being here. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you next time. I'll catch up with you later.